knowing Jesus is knowing the Father. Jesus says this over and over again. I want you to imagine that you work at a company, and it's a fairly large company, one of those cubicle jobs. You know, you show up and there are all these cubicles and everybody shows up and you're working your job, you're typing away at your computer. It's an okay job. And the CEO of the company, he's all the way up at the top. He works on the, and no one really sees him. And the way people think about the CEO is that he's a little bit cold, kind of harsh, and he has really high standards. Now, no one has ever seen him be cold. No one has ever seen him be harsh. All people know is that he runs a tight ship. It's like these are the standards, and we need to keep these standards. And that's your just perception of the way the company is run, and you just go about your life. Well, one day, the son of the CEO comes in, and he's been hired in a middle management position. And you're just shocked the way he walks about the cubicles and walks the floor and how cordial he is and how kind he is. And he still holds a high standard, but he comes alongside of each of the employees and helps out. He stays late, helping to finish other people's work. He comes early to help coach other people and what to do. And he's just so loving and sincere and compassionate. You're a little bit surprised. You're like, he must be very different than the father. And it's like this, you must have a great mother. I don't know. It's like, what's going on? And then after work, he starts to invite you and some of the other coworkers to go to the movies, to go bowling, and you just start to spend time together. And you realize that this isn't just his work self, this is just who he is. He's like this everywhere he goes. He's like this with the waitress. He's like this with the attendants at the movie theater. He's like this with everybody. Then one day he invites you and the other coworkers to dinner, and he gives you an address. Hey, be here at this address. And you start driving to the house. And have you ever driven to someone's house and then as you're driving, you're like, oh, they live here? You know, it's like, this is a nice neighborhood. It's like you drive up and you're driving through and you realize, wow, I'm like going up and up and up the hill. And you realize that the house you're going to is the one at the very top of the hill, the very end of the street. And it's a beautiful mansion. You go up to the front door and you knock, a little bit nervous. And who opens the door is not the son, but the father. And now you're really nervous. You go in and you're talking and you sit down for dinner, and eventually some of the other coworkers, they come in too. And over dinner, it's like everything that you thought was true gets undone because you get to see the father and the son interact. It's like, you know, when you see a father and a son interact, or a child and a parent interact, you can see if like the mannerisms come out, the stories come out, how they're similar and all these things. And you realize that actually the father and the son are basically the same person. They're both telling jokes, they're both telling stories. They're telling stories of their life together and their upbringing together and all these things, but not in a way that excludes you. You know, when people tell stories and it brings you in, they're just bringing you into their life. And you realize that the father was never cold. The father was never harsh. It was all misinterpreted. Like if he has these kind of standards, he must be like this. And you're learning through the son who the father is. And through the father, you're learning who the son is. And as you walk out to your car and as you drive away, you realize that not only your perception of the father and the son have changed, you have changed. You've become a different person. And this is what's happening with the disciples. Jesus is going in, you know, he's going behind the scenes. He's ripping open the curtain, and they see this Trinitarian Father, Son, and Holy Spirit nature going on, and them bringing in and what they're just doing is they're knowing God. And they're changing because of it.